Good evening and welcome to Sunday Politics on Trust TV, your hub for robust conversation on politics, policy and governance. I'm Hamza Idris. Tonight we take a look at Nigeria's troubling economy and the ongoing cost of living crisis, which is currently viewed from different perspectives, depending on who is feeling the heat, administering the doses or receiving the impact. While the Nigerian government insists the economy is recovering due to the impact of its applied antidotes, the Nigeria Economic Summit Group is worried that thousands of businesses are closing shops due to the unfriendly climate, just as citizens who are mostly at the receiving end say they are going through difficult times as a result of government policies. On Sunday Politics tonight, we ask, are Nigerians on the same page with the Tinubu government on its claim that things are getting better? What are the prevailing realities in respect to Nigeria's struggling economy? We'll also be taking a look at the nation's political landscape, which is witnessing an unprecedented alignment and realignment of forces ahead of the 2027 election, especially with frontline opposition parties building what they call a formidable alliance to stop the ruling APC. Are all the opposition political parties in alignment with the current move, or is it a congregation of opposition elements losing relevance in the current political arrangement? And joining us to dimension the issues tonight is the National Chairman of the Action Democratic Party, ADP, Engr Yabagi Sani, who joins us via Zoom. And there in the studio, we have an APC chieftain, Comrade Samuel Danjuma. Gentlemen, welcome to the program.
Thank you.
Yes, Samuel, welcome.
Thank you.
Engineer, I hope you are with us. Good evening. All right, barka da shan ruwa. All right, as we seek to provide answers to these issues, let's look at a major development in the polity. Niger Republic has turned to Nigeria for help after being hit by fuel shortage. The West African country reached out to Nigeria despite months of diplomatic tensions and hostile rhetoric. According to news report, a delegation of senior officials of the military junta in Niger traveled down to Abuja to meet the federal government representatives. At the end of the deliberation, 300 trucks of premium motor spirit, also known as petrol, were reportedly approved for delivery to the country. A senior government official aware of the development said Nigeria approved the deal with the hope of using it as a strategic bargaining tool in ongoing negotiations with Niger. According to the official, the delegation explained that Niger had been reliant on fuel from a Chinese refinery. However, due to issues with the supplier, the refinery was shut down, leaving the country with limited options. And viewers, don't forget, you will also be part of today's conversation as we open our telephone lines for you midway into the program to share your thoughts on some of these important issues. Once again, welcome to Sunday Politics. Sunday, let me start with you, Samuel. Yeah. Niger is our tidbit for today, coming back to Nigeria in search for petrol. Is it a surprise to you after the diplomatic problem we had with them following the military ouster?
I've always said that Nigeria is a strategic country on the African continent, and we're not just called the giant of Africa, we're actually the giant of Africa. If you watch over the years, there's no country in Africa that has not in one way benefited from the Nigerian state or the Nigerian government. And I'm not surprised that Niger is coming back home to seek help. Over the years, we have given Niger power. And people, this is to show that when I tell people that this administration is doing a lot, they will ask me how, and this is an example to prove that indeed Nigeria is doing better. Before now, we used to find out that it would have been the one running Elder Scatter trying to see how we're going to get fuel for our people. But because of the coming up of the Dangote refinery, which was as a result of the policy of this government supporting, like I said, there's continuum in government, supporting what the previous administration did to see to it that Dangote refinery came up. And the coming upstream of our own refinery, so that shows that we now have enough surplus of a petroleum product that other countries now run back to Nigeria for help. It's a welcome development, and I'm happy that the government official is saying that this is going to be an avenue for us to use as a bargaining chip to see to it that will bring a lasting peace in the region at the end of it. So it's a welcome development. It shows that Nigeria is working, and it's time Nigerians within begin to see that indeed Nigeria is working, and this government is working for the betterment of all Nigerians.
Thank you very much, Samuel. Yes, engineer, this is actually your area because you also worked with NMPC in the 90s. What is your take that finally Nigeria is back home, according to Samuel, seeking for support from Nigeria? It is a plus, or is a subtle way of Nigeria to cajole Niger back to its fold?
Well, it's certainly a welcome development because you always would like to make sure that you are on good terms with your neighbors, because you cannot be self-sufficient. You know, even as big as Nigeria is on the continent of Africa, you still need the cooperation and collaboration of your neighbors, you know, in order to be able to, survive and, if you like, live, comfortably. I would say that Nigeria, of course, is blessed, fabulously with oil and gas. We are about number 6, amongst the countries exporting crude oil and gas to the outside world. It is important that we take advantage of what God has given to us, which is what countries. If you look at countries like America is using its economic powers really to ensure that they get better deal with their neighbors like Canada, European countries, and others. There's nothing wrong if Nigeria, leverage on that endowment that God has given to us, which is oil and gas and other areas, to ensure that we assert our position, because we cannot be big for nothing. What do I mean? We should be able to benefit from these resources by way of some economic relationships, political relationships. Nigeria in the international arena should be able to use its economic powers to get some supports, when things negotiations are on at the international level. So I think Nigeria coming back to Nigeria to get fuel it's not anything strange, because Nigeria is big, to even European countries come to Nigeria, not only Nigeria, because of that competitive advantage which we have in the oil and gas, trade. So, yes, and I'm glad that Nigeria did not waste time to extend, the brotherhood, the fellowship to the end that, okay, come, we're one. So, and the issue of the crisis we are having, I'm talking about political crisis we are having, the geopolitical crisis, sub-regional crisis we are having, the ECOWAS issues and things like that. I think this is one of the avenues that Nigeria can explore. I expect President Bola Ahmed Tinubu to take advantage of this situation to extend that brotherhood, that sense of being your brother's keeper, to even beyond Niger, because after all said and done, we need each other, so it's a welcome development.
All right. Yes, Samuel, do you think maybe next will be maybe Burkina Faso?
It's a welcome development, and we're welcoming all our brothers, because ECOWAS was conceived for the betterment of the region, and we're not happy, and there's nobody who will be happy to say that we're going to have issues within our region and with our brothers. So we are the big brother. They're all welcome. Every other country to come, because it's going to also boost our economy. It's going to boost our foreign direct earnings and the rest of them. So it's a good one for us, because this shows that indeed the reforms in the oil and in the oil sector and the downstream sector is already yielding results. And this is what this administration has been saying from its inception. That's going to take time, but allow the process, and we'll begin to see the benefit of it. Now that shows that we have enough to take care of the issue back at home, and we have enough to also give out to other countries, neighboring countries, and even other Western countries, because like engineer just said, there are other countries who are coming to Nigeria to lift petroleum products from Nigeria, and it's a good one for us. It's
Many believe
also.
This should have been the way since the beginning of the crisis, when we had the military takeover, in Niger, Burkina Faso, but then Nigeria wanted to show force that, okay, being the leader of the ECOWAS, we can use force to insist that this is what or how they should live their life.
It's understandable the way the Nigerian government at first reacted, and I think as a good leader of the ECOWAS sub-region, and as a big brother, like I said earlier, we had to go back to the drawing board and say, okay, if this approach did not work, what other approach is going to work out? And here the opportunity has presented itself, and I know Nigeria and the president that we have will key into this and make very good use of it. And at the end of the day, it will be a win-win for both countries at the end of the day.
All right, let's quickly go to the first part of our major subject of discussion. Engineer Yabagi Sani, I want to have your take on all the claims around Nigeria's economy. Where do you belong? Is the economy improving? As a leader of the opposition, you are also the national chairman of Action Democratic Party. Is Nigeria's economy improving, as being alluded to by the government?
Well, Nigerian economy, it's a promise of greatness, and under this present circumstance, I believe we can do much better than what is happening today. Yes, this government took certain decisions that one will accept that yes, it's a hard decision to take, and a necessary decision to take, so that the dislocation that we have in the economy can be addressed. And like I said, the promise of greatness that this Nigeria is, we can now pursue that path of growing our economy. Today, Nigerians are not happy. Nigerians are going through what I can call hell, because if you look at Nigerians before Bola Ahmed Tinubu, took over the reins of power, it wasn't anything good. But today we are worse off. I'm thinking about the cost of living, of an average Nigerian. Yes, I understand that. Yes, you must go through pains before you can start, to enjoy anything at all in life. But don't let that pains be prolonged. Otherwise, by the time all the goodies you are talking about come, there'll be nobody there to even enjoy the goodies. So the onus is on this government to do more than what they are doing. And the issue of addressing unemployment, the issue of addressing inflation, the rate of inflation, even with the abracadabra statistics that they came up with, that the inflation is still, the inflation in this country, as far as an average Nigerian is concerned, is too high. It's something that is militating against our ability to enjoy, good life, given the resources that we have. So my take on where we are today in this country is that the government needs to do much more than what they are doing. The government should tackle the issue of corruption, because it's there. It has not been tackled in the manner that is necessary to be tackled. Government should ensure that the issue of the subsidy that was removed, some direct measures should be taken to ensure that cost of transportation, for instance, is addressed. Because with all the things we are seeing, with all the price of petrol that goes up and down, it has not reflected in the cost of transportation. Nigerians are still paying what they used to pay in terms of the cost. The cost of transportation is it occupies a very big element. Contributes to your inflation. Another aspect that government should address is that the exchange rate. The exchange rate also plays a very big role in what becomes of your inflation. I'm talking about the tendency skyrocketing prices, because still we buy quite a lot of things. Nigeria still imports food. We import quite a lot of things, and therefore the foreign exchange rate, the exchange rate, the strength of naira is crucial, and that's why we're asking government to look at the real sector, meaning the manufacturing sector, most of who are closing down. Government should take bold steps to ensure that the manufacturing sector, is alive and it's active, meaning that they are able to produce at a price that an average Nigerian can afford. The issue is that of inflation. And this inflation we're talking about was created by this government. Because if you remove subsidy and you also unify the rate, that means the government removes subsidy on naira, you remove subsidy on petrol, and these are the principles, these are the key elements, in terms of your economic well-being and how it affects the average Nigerian. And nothing that one can say commensurable with that bold decision has been done by government yet. So I will say that we have a lot of motion, but no movement yet as far as how we impact the life of an average Nigerian is concerned.
Thank you, Engr Yabagi Sani. Yes, Samuel, you had him. He's actually the national chairman of the Action Democratic Party and its presidential candidate during the 2023 general elections. You are a member of the APC. Engr Yabagi is not alone in this line of thinking. The Nigeria Economic Summit Group said the economy is not working. Companies are closing. The Catholic bishops, just last week, they also said, look, federal government, look, Mr. Tinubu, the economy is not working. But what reply did we get from the government? They said, no, the economy is working. Why are you people in the APC, both those in government and outside government, fixated with this idea that things are really working?
You heard the engineer when he said earlier that this administration has done a lot to ease the suffering of the people, that a lot of policies have been put in place for the betterment of the people. It's going to take time for it to materialize, but he is appealing to the government to put in more effort. If we agree and we are honest, if we agree and we are honest, the engineer said that this administration brought in a lot of inflation as a result of the removal of subsidy and the rest of them. I think Nigerians should also remember that by the time the previous administration was leaving in May 29, 2023, that budget had no provision for the payment of subsidy.
We all agree. I think we have passed that for a very long time.
He just mentioned it, that was the result of the inflation. And this administration had nothing to do but to take out what was already taken out before its invent. We remember in 2007 when the Yar'Adua administration was coming in, the fuel price was, I think, around 40 naira per liter by then. And at the tail end of Obasanjo's administration, he increased it to, I think, about 70 naira. And Yar'Adua had to bring it down to 65 naira at the end of the day. Most administrations at the tail end will always set a trap for the incoming administration. But one thing this administration has done, and one thing we should give to this administration is, from the inception of democracy, the return of democracy in 1999 till date, I think if there's any administration that has pulled through with policies of government that is aimed at bettering the lot of the people and positioning the economy on the right track of recovery and prosperity, we should give it to the Bola.
But we are yet to see them in practical terms.
Now, as we speak, the GDP has increased by...
Forget about GDP.
You can't say I should forget about GDP.
Because
you asked that why are we comfortable saying that the government economy is working.
I'm giving you the figures. That is what I'm saying. Yes,
the GDP has increased by 3.8%.
And what does that mean to me?
I'm coming. Okay. From what it used to be. Inflation has dropped from 34.8 it used to be.
What does that mean to the person on the street?
On the street now we buy fuel cheaper than we were buying fuel before.
But has it changed the cost of transportation?
It's this way. When it gets to this point, you now have to come back to the people. Now, if a driver of a cab increased the cost of transportation because he was buying fuel at 1,000 or above 1,000 naira per liter, and now he's buying fuel less than 800, close to less than 900 naira. It's about I bought this afternoon about 885. So therefore, automatically, you don't have to blame the president for this. Ordinarily, we should begin to look at ourselves and search our conscience. Are we really doing what we are supposed to do as individuals? If the reason for increase was because the fuel price was at this rate and the fuel price has dropped, it should automatically reflect in the cost of transportation. You don't blame the president for that.
We did a big story. Yeah, I'm coming. We did a big story on Saturday in Daily Trust, and honestly, it was people-oriented story. We went to the street. We asked drivers, we asked unionists, and all that stakeholders. We spoke to every other person, and they said the changes, the percentage decrease is so insignificant that it is practically impossible for transporters to bring down the fare.
And what did you expect them to say before? They will always come up with something to defend their actions and inactions. See, Nigerians are the problem of their own self, not the government. The government is doing everything humanly possible to see to it to elevate the suffering of the people. He talked about the funds that have been removed from the subsidy. We all know that since the removal of subsidy, the allocations to state governments has tripled. Some state governments doubled, some doubled,
but this is something that has been taken away by inflation also. Because what does governors to build a borehole, assuming it is 1 million pre-subsidy, okay, now it is around 4 million. Now, so the increase in demand doesn't translate to anything.
The GDP that has increased by 3.8%, I'm talking about 57% of that came from Lagos State alone. That shows that Lagos State is working. And who laid the master plan for Lagos State is the President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria.
You want to praise the president. We're talking about the reality.
This is it. See, you know the problem with Nigeria is, I always say this when I have the opportunity, and I think most of the time, I blame the media handlers of the president. They are supposed to be on every TV station, on every radio station, speaking the language and the dialect that people understand. Now, government is doing a lot. I was discussing with an honorable member just yesterday, and he was telling me that this tax bill will favor the North. He's a Northerner, not from the South. He's a Northerner. I said this tax bill will favor the North more, and I asked him how. And he told me that most of what is produced in the North is agricultural products, and those agricultural products are are not going to be taxed. And anybody who is not going to earn up to above whose salary is not above 70 to 80% of the threshold of the minimum wage will not pay income tax. So there's a lot this government is doing. I think what people don't know is people are not aware of what government is doing. When he talked about the manufacturing industry, government has rolled out a lot of policies to raise funds, assist the manufacturing industry to be able to mitigate the effects of the subsidy removal. Are they actually taking possession of that? And if they are, are they actually using that funds to do what the government is actually releasing those funds for? This is the question we should be asking. All right. It's not all the time we say government. Government is doing what they should do. The citizens have a right and have a responsibility also to carry out. So citizens also should carry out their responsibilities.
All right. Let me go back to Engineer Yabagi. Now, cost of food has come down, no doubt about that. But why are dealers having glut now? You have the food in the stores, people cannot buy it. So where is the missing link now? Is it that the purchasing power of people has been eroded? Or what is really the problem? You have the food, people don't have the money to buy.
Yeah, you've just hit the nail on the head. The fact is that the purchasing power of the average Nigerian has been taken away by more than if you look at what the inflation, because the inflation is taxed in actual sense, and although they're reporting something lower, but I think it's up to 40%. If before your purchasing power has been taken away, have been reduced by 50% in terms of, or 40% in terms of tax. And the government now said they're increasing the basic salary. That is, by how much? If you look at the percentage of what was given as the basic salary to the workers, it's nothing compared to the increase, the level of increase you have in the price of food, although, like you said, yes, the food inflation has come down marginally, but the crux of the matter is how much does an average Nigerian have to purchase, the purchasing power, meaning that the money that he has to spend. People are not able to increase salaries, to commensurate with the rate of increase in inflation, especially even in the food aspect. I mean, look at the bag of rice. How much you used to pay in 2023? How much are you paying for the bag of rice now? How much increase did they put in the basic salary? It's so the point one should look at is the available disposable income that an average Nigerian has for him to be able to take care of his basic needs, which is not yet commensurable. It's not yet meeting the necessity that an average Nigerian needs to meet. This is one government that has taxed Nigerians beyond, expectation. Every day, what you hear is that this one has increased, this rate is being increased. Everything that Nigerians used to enjoy before, they are now being increased. Especially and unfortunately for us, our economy is still public sector driven. So you find that government that should make life comfortable for people is the one putting pressure on the people, making life more difficult, because by the time you're asking us to pay more, you are paying more for electricity, you are paying more for fuel, you are paying more for everything that you consume, and you are not giving the increase in the salaries or in the way that Nigerians will make money so that they can afford these things as affordable as the fiat by which government increase prices, because it's just an administrative fiat. Government they'll just sit down, come together and say, well, we have to increase this price. Right. we have to increase the cost of telecommunication. We have to increase the cost of everything has been increased. And then you ask, how do you want Nigerians to survive? So this is the issue.
Thank you, engineer. Yes, that's a big question. But I want your final take on this, because we have to move to the other topic of discussion, and we want our viewers to also contribute. So in less than 1 minute, how much allowance do you think the government should be given? Because you are talking about we will see it. Now, 2 years gone.
At the tail end of last year, when I was telling people on the sister station that prices of things were going to come down, they never believed.
We agree they have come down, but people can't buy.
It's a process. At first, it was high. Now it's coming down, and so gradually it's coming down on a daily basis.
You're optimistic.
I'm telling you the fact that this is where the government is going. Prices of things are coming down, and people will be able to afford these things. Nigerians are earning more than they were earning even before 2023. That's one thing we should agree.
It doesn't make sense, Samuel, because the increase in the earning,
the same thing
cannot buy what you will be able to buy with that money in 2023.
At first, when this administration came into power, felt when the policies started coming in, when they started rolling out the policies, felt that things were not going to work out, prices were not going to fall. This is the first time in the history of Nigeria that prices went up and they are coming down and coming down.
Even though no purchasing power.
Not because of low purchasing power, because the policies of government, the policies this government have put in place is working. This government is a government that is working on stronger.
But the law of economics, it is the higher the demand, the higher the price. When the demand is very low, the price must come down.
It's also not just the higher the demand. When the supply is more than the demand, the prices will come down. Now the supplies are increasing, and as the supplies are increasing, the prices are coming down. Now someone bought see, most of the issues we're having, when I say Nigerians, I mean Nigerians. People go to hoard these foodstuffs. And at the end of the day, when they hoard these foodstuffs, what happened? Most of them are beginning to cry now because they hoarded this food. Somebody bought beans at 110,000 per bag to hoard, and now beans is selling less than 40,000 than what he bought it. It's about 80,000. So that's about 40,000 is gone out of whatever it is. So it is Nigeria. These are all man-made. These are all artificial. And this government is putting in policies. I want Nigerians to be patient with this government. I want Nigerians to believe in this government. And at the end before the end of this administration, we'll have reasons to celebrate.
Thank you very much. Yes, Engr Yabagi, National Chairman, Action Democratic Party. At the time you led the Inter-Party Advisory Council, IPAC, we are seeing a new trend now. People shifting to specifically the Social Democratic Party. What do you make of it?
Well, I don't know. You see, it's the more things change, the more they remain the same. Because people move into another party, especially if the intention of moving to another party is to change the power equation, then you perhaps will have to now look at the history, the makeup, if you like, the ownership of the new house that you are going into. Is it anything different from where you are living, especially those who are leaving APC for SDP? I mean, when you look at the fact of our political life in this country, there are certain things that are very, very fundamental, and you ignore them at your peril. What are they? Those things we call primordial, issues. Issues of region, issues of ethnicity, issues of religion. So therefore, if you are thinking that you are moving away from one party to the other in order to change the power equation, then perhaps you need to do due diligence. You need to find out how is the where I'm going to, how is it completely divorced? How is it not the same? The same kind of situation that you try to run away from, that you are going into. In other words, if people are trying to wrestle power from Bola Ahmed Tinubu, and they are going to to SDP to go and fight him, I think it's a lose. That battle is lost. It's dead on arrival. Like you said, Bola Tinubu and Afenifere, if you like, owns SDP. So, except if it's another way of swindling Nigerians, that is deceiving Nigerians that, oh yeah, we want to rescue you. So we now want to take you to another, we are moving you to another party so we can fight, Bola Ahmed Tinubu. I mean, even if it doesn't even take somebody who is a politician to know that you can't fight this government from the platform that belongs to this government. That's the point I'm making. And that's why I told you that really, there are certain factors, certain fundamentals in our politics in this country. Yes, and these fundamentals are that of region, religion, and ethnicity.
Why I took this question to you is from your background as the chairman at the time of the IPAC. Yeah, former chairman of IPAC. I mean, Inter-Party Advisory Council, meaning that political parties, you serve as an amalgam, all of them under your umbrella. Are you aware remotely, or you are also part of it, that certain alignments are ongoing among political parties, or you think it is just some disgruntled elements within political parties that are now converging in the SDP, for instance?
Yeah, I mean, there are alliance going on, talks, going on, but not that of the SDP that you are talking about. And I'm talking about the SDP because any political watcher in this country will tell you that SDP belongs to APC. Because if the person that is leader of APC today is Bola Ahmed Tinubu, you have to look at the roots of SDP. Bola Ahmed Tinubu contested on the platform of SDP as a senator, and we know that SDP today, you are talking about the owners of SDP, Afenifere is one of them. There's no way Afenifere will fight Bola Ahmed Tinubu or support any other candidate, to take the power away from them. So we should stop deceiving, Nigerians. Yes, there are talks going on, but not the SDP talk. Not at all, because that's a non-starter. You can't fight this government from the platform of SDP. That is the point I'm making. Yeah. Okay, and I'm involved in some of this stuff that you're talking about. But not the SDP direction.
You heard what Engineer Yabagi said, that who are the owners of SDP? In fact, it's a big reminder that, Tinubu contested for the Senate in 1992, right? Under the platform of Is this a deception? What is happening?
I think Engineer is a bit, as an opposition leader, he will be a bit economical with some of these facts here. And the SDP of 1992 is not the same SDP of today. The president has left the SDP long ago. He came back into the political circle through the AD, from the AD to the AC to ACN, and here today in the APC. Now, when he says the SDP belongs to the APC, I laugh. It's not about belonging to the APC. The APC is a party. We also, when the former governor of Kaduna State, who is angry and disappointed that he's not one of the ministers, is going about casting aspiration against the president.
Well, he countered that, saying that it's the problem with internal party issues that he...
We all know who the president of El-Rufai is. I remember I said it here in your studio in one of the programs when I said he lacks character and he lacks integrity. He's someone I admire so much growing up. When I heard about what he did in the FCT, and I looked forward to meeting him, and I was indirectly seeing him to be like a mentor. But at the end of that tenure in 2007 and the fallout with the Yar'Adua administration in 2007 and the rest of them, and he went haywire, and I looked at it and I said, no, this is not somebody I should copy from. And look at what the son is saying on social media, insulting and all that and all that and all that. The man who today says this, the next minute he says that. That's not a man who is ready to...
So you are saying that SDP is not being funded by APC?
It's not being funded by the APC. SDP is a party.
But is it a threat to APC?
SDP is not a threat to the APC. See, a man who for the first time he ever came out to say, after being out of power for close to 20 years, and came out for the first time and said, it is time, I'm going to be president, and he went for it, and he got it out. See, we don't call the president the Asiwaju, the Jagaban of Africa policies just for name calling. It's because he's a master strategist, he's someone who understands the game of politics, and he comes with all this wisdom, and when it's time to play the game, he's not distracted. This is the first time I'm seeing that the president is not even distracted. He's not concerned about what.
Are you sure?
He's not. Even from his body language, he's not being distracted. He's concerned. What is the concern of the president now is to deliver on the mandate, on the 4 years mandate that was given to him by the people of Nigeria to deliver. And by the
you think those going to the SDP, they will not
see.
Hamza al-Mustafa has moved apart from El-Rufai?
Now, I remember on one of the programs here, I was one of the barristers who said this is an association of defeated political gladiators. These are people who who are angry that they didn't get the El-Rufai that you and I know. If he was a member of this cabinet, I'm happy his wife said it on one of the social media handles when the son came out attacking this government. The wife told the son Bello that if your father was part of this Bashir, if your father was part of this administration, I don't think you would have come to say what you're saying. We all know El-Rufai, if he was part of this administration, he would have been singing the praise of Mr. President in high heaven. He's angry, he's bitter that he didn't get the ministerial appointment that he looked out for. And the president of El-Rufai to come out and start saying all the things he's saying, I'm so shocked. What a time to be alive and to be a Nigerian, that the president of El-Rufai will now become a social media warrior, that is shouting every day, crying every day, criticizing government. No, it's how has the man fallen. I think it's high time they really get what they want to do.
Okay, Engineer, before we let you go, let me have your final take on these developments. Today, we saw former Jigawa State Governor Sule Lamido calling out El-Rufai. He said it was PDP that made him. Now, he's too small to actually call some of them to join him in SDP. Don't you think maybe before next year, even the opposition, the semblance of opposition that we have will completely disappear? This should be your final take before we let you go.
Well, you see, the political situation we have in this country today is that of a lot of, it's a lot of gimmicks around the whole thing, and these gimmicks are being propelled by the fact of what you call power of incumbency, and the issue of regional politics in this country. So these two factors are militating against effective opposition against any government that is in power in Nigeria. And that is what Bola Tinubu is enjoying. Power of incumbency and the regional factor, which is entrenched in our politics, especially when you're talking about presidential election. So this is why you will find that Lamido, Erufai, and what have you, they be fighting each other, or saying and sort of things they're saying against each other. So my take is that, or my advice is that we have to work towards making the politics in this country to be merit-based, meaning that leadership. But if we are to depend on the structure we have today, you remember that every institution that you depend on to declare you as a winner is in the hands of one individual, and that is Bola Ahmed Tinubu. The regional politics we have today says that we are giving South, an opportunity to at least have their own go at leadership of this country. And the Constitution says they have 8 years. So that is something that is working against the opposition. But having said that, this is politics. This is politics. Anything can happen.
All right.
Like I told you, we are working on certain things that will I'm sure attract the buy-in of Nigerians, and perhaps uproot all these things we are talking about, these regional things and the power of incumbency. So I can assure you, and I'm promising Nigerians that all is not lost in terms of hope, and that we will make sure that we have good government, we have good governance, in this country,
right.
In under democratic, settings which we have today.
All right. Thank you very much, Engr Yabagi Sani, the National Chairman, Action Democratic Party, former Chairman, Interparty Advisory Council, for your informed perspective. We want to let you go here. Thank you, and we hope to have you some other time.
Thank you very much for having me.
Yes, we will now open the telephone line for some of you who are lucky to actually call and give your take on the two topics we discussed: the hardship in the country and then the alliances ongoing among political parties. Use the telephone line that will be displayed on your screen. Don't use foul language. Go straight to the point. We have fewer minutes to allocate to you. Over to you. Yes, Samuel, before we get the calls, you heard him that really, even though SDP may not really give something tangible, but they are working on something. But there is this belief that the mere defection of Erufai to SDP has ruffled feathers. But before you answer, we have our first caller. Let me have him before I give you the floor to answer this. Hello, welcome to the program.
Hello.
Hello, good evening.
Good evening.
Reduce the volume of your TV set so that we can hear you loud and clear.
Okay.
Yes, and then let us have your name and then your take.
Are you hearing me now?
Very well. Okay, go ahead. What is the name?
Yes, my name is Ovaro Chama from Akanga.
From Akanga. You are welcome to the program.
Yes. You see, God will bless that engineer. In fact, he spoke the ordinary people in the street mind. Because, we give APC a lot of time during Buhari, now Tinubu take over. And we see APC have already failed us. If you go on protest, they will pour tear gas on you. They will use security, use soldier men for the ordinary people. So now, as the engineer said, they are increasing the common call that we used to make with the 11 seconds per minute. Now has go up. The rice that we used to buy during Buhari, 25,000 per bag, now is almost 70, 60 something, and they are saying the food is coming, is dropping down. It's dropping down for where? Okay. People don't have money to buy a bag of rice at 60,000, and the minimum wage is 70,000. See, people are tired for the policies of the APC that are bringing for the people. In fact, where I'm staying now, people look for 1 square meal that cannot feed themselves. And you go for transport now, they increase transport for the people. because they are collecting tax for the road. So everything they are doing is just like they are taking off for business. They are doing business for ordinary Nigeria. May God help us, may we reach 2027 so that we should know how to arrange ourselves, talk to our people in the language they will understand, so that we should send APC party.
Thank you very much. All right.
Thank you.
Thank you. You have made your point. You see, Samuel, you see part of the anger we're talking about.
You know why I'm smiling when you say, he said this from Akwanga. The same APC government he's saying has done nothing. Go to Akwanga and see the kind of infrastructural development that's going on in Akwanga. That's from the APC administration of Governor.
You are a real politician. All the time you...
Right? From Governor Sule. A lot of projects are going on. There's a lot of construction.
What about the purchasing power? We're talking about purchasing power.
I'm coming. A lot of construction are going on. So that means there's employment, there's job, there's money in circulation, and there's money changing hands. I want Nigerians to understand one thing. Even if you sell a bag of rice at 10,000 naira, if somebody is not working, he won't be able to afford it. I remember in 1989, whereby there was hunger in this country. It wasn't the APC that was in government at that time. I remember in subsequent governments, if I can continue to mention, even under the Goodluck Jonathan's administration, where a bag of rice was sold at 8,000 naira, there were still Nigerians that could not afford it. What we should be more concerned is, these government policies, are they there for the betterment of the people? Will it take time to materialize? Yes, it will take time. And is it beginning to yield results? Yes, it's beginning to yield results. It's not going to happen just overnight. It's a process. So gradually, as someone said it before now, I think I'm beginning to agree with the person that between now and May 29, the price of fuel will drop drastically from what it is to be.
All right.
And this will also reduce the cost of living and the cost of the people.
Okay, I will take the last caller before taking your last take on the program. Hello, welcome to the program.
Good evening, sir.
Yes, how are you? We are giving you just 1 minute because we are wrapping up.
Okay.
Yes.
Yeah, Idris is my name from Ogun State.
Oh, from Ogun. Welcome to the program.
State.
Okay, go ahead.
Thank you. Yeah, all these issues we are talking about.
Yes.
If we all love this country, I believe we're supposed to look for the root cause and the solution.
Okay.
We have known the root cause. We should advise the government on the root cause. All these political parties, they are ready to fight tinubu. It will not work. I'll give you the reason.
Okay.
If they elected them too, what are they going to do to improve the life of people?
Thank you.
All of them are just looking for what to eat or to embezzle for their own family.
So scrambling for power.
Is let everybody contribute to this government so that the country will move forward.
Okay.
Not blaming the president.
All right.
Things are already bad.
Okay.
What we need now is a solution. Let Obi come with a solution. Atiku come with a solution. El-Rufai himself should come with a solution. So the country will move forward.
Thank you.
Stop complaining that the government is bad.
All right.
If you go to US today, if you don't work, you will suffer.
Exactly.
That is my contribution.
Thank you very much, Mr. Idowu from Ogun State. He said all the politicians are scrambling for power. We should come for solution. Okay, 1 minute or less. What is this? What is your call now?
Nigerians should come, put hands together and support this administration to see to it that this administration succeeds for the betterment of this administration. Means well for Nigerians. This administration has put in policies in place to better the lives of Nigerians, and we're already on the path of recovery and prosperity, and this is what all Nigerians should do. The question should be, ask your state governors. My state governor is doing excellently. He just won the best governor in agriculture for the year, and all that. So other state governors, my host governor to Niger state governor is doing excellently. The farmer governor is doing excellently well. The Lagos state governor is doing, I think Jigawa is also doing well. Other state governors should key into it with the extra resources that is at their disposal and think out of the box. There's a lot of mineral resources in their state. Find a way of collaborating with government at the center and better the loss of Nigerians, and Nigerians will be better for it all. It's not about changing party. It's not about going to regroup in another politics. These are the same people, and what are they looking for? They are all looking for power, not for the betterment of Nigeria. The only government and the only person who means well for Nigeria is no other person than President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, who is the president of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, and that's the person that we will still vote in 2027, not minding all the distractions.
Thank you very much. Yes, Samuel Danjuma, for coming to the program.
The pleasure is mine.
From perspective, for defending your political party, even though you can see the tempo.
I speak for Nigeria. I'm here to tell Nigerians the true picture that we mean well for Nigeria, and we are doing all to make sure that Nigerians will be happy at the end of the day.
Thank you very much. Yes, viewers, and that's a wrap on today's package. Earlier in the program, of course, we had the National Chairman of the Action Democratic Party, Engr Yabagi Sani, and here in the studio, Comrade Samuel Danjuma, a chieftain of the APC. Hope you join us tomorrow for another interesting package of daily politics. From here, bye-bye for now. I'm Hamza Idris.